Okay. Ready to go? Okay, we are ready to go. Bonjour à tout le monde. I hope everyone's doing okay. I'm Sam Kamel with CoreChain, and today we're going to talk about the power of B2B payments, or unleashing the power of B2B payments. So I want to walk through a few things. First off, this is a QR code. Feel free to scan it, and if you have any Q&A, I'll be getting questions sent to me through the fancy system that Odoo has set up. All right, what we'd like to talk about today is an introduction to CoreChain. Who are we, and why do we matter to the world of Odoo and the ecosystem? I'm going to spend a lot of time on B2B payments. B2B payments may not be something you think about every day, but we do. And it's an exciting area to be building out in partnership with Odoo and the many partners in the ecosystem. And we're going to talk a little bit about CoreChain Pay for Odoo. And lastly, we want to talk about generating revenue through payments, which is a little bit different from generating them through services and SaaS. So those are the four things we're going to try to cover today. And please, if you have questions, interrupt me anytime. And I want to welcome my colleague Tom Romery, who just flew in from New York City. So, Tom, you're amazing. All right. So, can you hear me okay? All right. I can hear myself, so I assume you can all hear me. All right. So we're excited to be here as CoreChain. We are a US-based startup. We currently only do business in North America. But our ambitions are bigger than that, and we hope to be worldwide, certainly in Europe, sometime soon. We're a venture-funded fintech company, launched back in 2020, based out of Connecticut. Our founder happens to have worked for a company called MasterCard over the years, and that's where we're based. We've done about $1 billion in payments. We're a white label, so we provide B2B payments embedded within an ERP system. But our brand stays behind the scenes, and it's your brand, it's the ERP's brand, that really is what the customer interfaces with. We have a unique revenue share business model, and we'll tell you more about that later on. We're rapidly growing, as I said before. We're US focused, but with a guy like me, I used to live here in Paris, in Brussels and Paris, so we have global aspirations. Real quick, not to burden you too much, but this is a little bit of a summary of our journey so far. And the key thing we're really excited about is we discovered Odoo at the beginning of this year. And Odoo is coming into the US in a big way. It's one of the more early ERPs. It's open source. They're advertising. They're building their business. Tom, my colleague, and I have been to the Odoo headquarters in San Francisco. It is alive with people. There's no place to sit down. There are no free space. It's really a vibrant and exciting time to be part of Odoo, we feel. So we're excited to be working with Odoo going forward. We're a startup, so you can't have a good startup without a good team, right? It all starts with the team, the leadership, and the energy. So I just had to show you something here. And listening to the keynote with Fabienne, we're all entrepreneurs. All of us have had the experience and the joy of taking a company public or building a company and selling it. And some of us had the experience of building a company and it didn't go anywhere. So we've been on the winning side and the losing side. But the point is, we're a dynamic team. We're super excited. And we're especially versed in payments and digital e-commerce and those areas of excitement, which is what we're going to talk about today. So the question we have is, for consumers in the past decade, payments has gotten to be really fun, intuitive, and exciting. So whether you're looking at peer-to-peer payments, Zelle, Venmo, you go to dinner, you want to split the tab with your friends, you can do that nowadays. You don't even think about it anymore. No cash, it's all digital, and happens over your mobile phone pretty seamlessly. If you want to pay a bill, a utility bill, or pay a company bill for anything else, that also happens very seamlessly, maybe from your desktop, maybe from your mobile phone. Or if you're conducting e-commerce online on your mobile phone through an app, again, the payment experience is seamless and invisible, could be in transportation like an Uber. So we all get it. As consumers in the digital world, payments are fun, seamless, and ubiquitous. But in the B2B world, at least especially in the US, it's a massive market. And through our research and research of others, half of the B2B payments, which amount to about $15 trillion a year, half of those in the US are still through paper check. Let that sink in. All of us here care about digital transformation. You build Odoo, you bring in ERP, you do accounting, you do changes on the front end and the back end of your business. But the part of the business that hasn't changed is the payments part, because people are still printing paper, signing the check, putting it in an envelope, putting a stamp on that, sticking it in the mailbox, and crossing their fingers and hoping their suppliers get paid, etc. So we think there's a huge opportunity in changing that. So let me zoom out a little bit. Let's talk about the broader payments landscape. Here you're going to see a lot of logos. You're going to see the verticals or the industries, government, large enterprise, medium, small business, and then some travel information here. And on the right side, you're going to see accounts receivable. So when we talk to partners, we usually have to educate them. Payments isn't just the accounts receivable part. That's the exciting part. We get it. Every merchant wants to get paid very easily by their consumers, whether it's point of sale or at the checkout of their mobile store. On the right side, accounts payable. This is the complex part, and we'll tell you more about that later on, about invoices and purchase orders and warehouse materials that have been broken at the time of receipt, et cetera, et cetera. And there are plenty of names over here. Some you'll see them on the left, some you see them just on the right. We're CoreChain. We tend to be with a focus on small, medium enterprises, small to medium, maybe $1 million or so in monthly revenue to maybe $200 million in revenue or spend as we talk about. And in the middle, you have the whole B2B payments infrastructure, which is being built out and has been built out for the past 10 years. And we play there as well, because we're not going to talk too much about it today, but we are also big believers in the distributed ledger technology and stable coins and digital assets. But we understand that for the moment, most businesses still want traditional payment means, and that's where we are playing today. More logos. Right? This is a big, messy, complex universe where you have regional players, national players, global players. And on the horizon, on the horizontal here, you have the old payment players and then the new disruptors with the new technology, the new vision, and the new capabilities. So we'll say CoreChain is down here. We're one of the more early stage companies in fintech and payments. We're still national. We still play in the US, but we're looking to build internationally. On the other hand, you'll see a lot of other names which are maybe more global. You have Klarna, you have other names which are maybe less known, Plaid and Payoneer. The point is, this is a messy space, and we're going to talk about it later on. The number of players is one of the pain points that most small merchants have when they have to make decisions about how do I change my B2B payments. So let's put some numbers on this. So you've seen a lot of logos. And why do we think B2B payments is really exciting? Because it's so big. Here on the left, you'll see consumer payments in the US is about a $9 trillion market in terms of the total transactions that occur from consumer to business. Worldwide, you'll see the consumer payments, B2C, is about $52 trillion. So those are big numbers. But when you look at B2B, what a merchant, what a vendor, what a supplier pays to another is, in the US, it's 25 to 30 trillion. Globally, it's 124 trillion. So this is a big, big payments market. And it's inefficient, and it's ready to be disrupted and digitally transformed. It's also growing pretty quickly. And here you can get a sense for that market across the different regions, Asia, Europe, North America, et cetera. And you look at 2024, 25, it's 118 going to 124 trillion in transactions. And a lot of this has been accelerated since COVID. COVID made us all more digital. If you look at the data, we can get into it, but more and more people, customers, et cetera, vendor A, vendor B, started to buy and trade more digitally than ever before because we didn't want to see each other. We all stayed isolated. But if you look at this, even for the European market, where we're not in today, between Western and Eastern Europe, it's about $37 trillion in B2B payments. So that's huge. And the US is only $32 billion, North America. All right, let's dig a little deeper here, a little deeper into the B2B payments. I'm going to bring you back to the US market because for Odoo, most of our customers tend to be smaller, medium enterprises. So here you can see, although corporates, large enterprises are the majority, it's only 54%. The other balance are small, medium enterprises who are trading and buying goods and services, materials for the warehouse, et cetera. And when we look at the industries where B2B payments is really relevant, and we think about it from a CoreChain point of view and the Odoo partners we work with and are beginning to work with, we're looking at retail and wholesale. We're looking at technical services. We're looking at manufacturing, where there's a lot of buying of goods and services and inventory, and those things where payment occurs most of the time, 60%, and the ones I highlighted, you'll find paper check and manual processes are the dominant way these things are managed. So we're not going to spend time here, but this is the problem. In B2B payments, you have data about the payment, the invoice, the purchase order, the bill of lading, et cetera, and then you have the actual payment that occurs. And you have contracts in the middle. What are my payment terms? What are my discount rates? What if I prepay? What if I late pay? What are my penalties? Doesn't exist in the world of B2C. So it's complex and it's messy. And we've tried to make it better. But when you think about the pain points, so what problem are we trying to solve? These are the ones you'll hear about. Manual processes, cash flow management, the complexity of the process. Or, geez, there's a lack of integration. My ERP doesn't support a more digital, more efficient B2B payment process. There's no clear visibility on the costs. So I do business today this way, but the cost of that isn't clear to the small, medium enterprises in terms of how they think about their business and the cost of actually doing something in a manual way. And lastly, we all know in the world of digital transformation, though it's getting easier and easier, it is still hard to change people's habits and ways of doing business. So let's dig into this a little bit. Manual processes and payments. Paper invoices versus the whole digital automated invoice. Paper takes 10 days, and it's 3 times more expensive. So for each business, if you look at the research, it's about $10, 10 euro per invoice, the cost to a business. That's pretty expensive when you think about the hundreds and thousands of invoices businesses have to process every month and every year. There's complexity. From the prior slides I showed you, a lot of logos, a lot of businesses, AR and AP and the industry. How do small businesses keep up with that? How do the advisors and the consultants and the value-added resellers understand that whole world of banking and payments and data flow when you're trying to really work with them in terms of their own business flow and implementing an Odoo solution? So that complexity comes up in the surveys. 9 out of 10 SMBs say they're interested in new payments. They'd like to change, but it's so complex, they don't even know where to start. They know how to collect payments, maybe Stripe, maybe it's part of an ERP, maybe they use a point of sale from their bank and their bank provides a solution. But beyond that, they tend to get frozen in the headlight, deers in the headlight. Next, the lack of integration. And this is what we're excited to talk about today. A business is going to get a new ERP system, front end, back end, inventory management, HR, CRM. But the financial accounting package takes them only so far. When it comes to payments and the process of payments, the process of AP automation, and the process of actually transacting, it isn't integrated. It's something you have to do manually or once off. It's not something you can do at scale. And 69% of companies say that they consider the lack of integration, the out-of-the-box functionality, as a major inhibitor to why they don't adopt better B2B, digitized B2B payments. There's a lot of small businesses don't understand the full cost of this part of their business process. And maybe the AP person is Becky in accounts payable. And Becky's a loyal member of a small business. She's been there 5 years, 10 years. She's close friends with the founder. Maybe she's the CFO as well, part-time and all that. So she just does her job. She wants to make sure that bills are paid, that suppliers are happy, right? That the parts and materials the business needs to operate are always available, that the utilities are on, that Amazon Web Services is paid, etc. But she doesn't understand that the cost of doing things through paper or manual processes is 15 times the cost of doing it in a digital way. Because when you look at the cost, you have to understand the time, the delays, the price of the paper, the price of the ink. All these things together are the cost elements of what B2B payments is about, and it's hard to really put your finger on it when you're a small business. And lastly, change is always hard. So people may want to change. Businesses may say, I'm ready, but I'm not sure. I don't understand. And so what we try to do is to talk about the return on investment. So if you implement Odoo and you bring in B2B functionality, automated B2B functionality within an Odoo implementation, the message to a prospective client or a current customer is to say you can reduce your processing costs by 81%. If you take the full digitization capabilities that exist today in the marketplace. So I don't know too many CEOs or CFOs or business owners that would say no thank you to the opportunity to reduce one part of their cost in their business by 81%. So then we get to the solution, right? Digitized, automated, accounts payable and workflow and payments. So there's a lot here. You're going to see automated processing, AP process automation. And on the bottom here, you're going to see the payment, the actual payment delivery that CoreChain plays in a little bit in both. So we're not going to walk through this, but there's a lot of stuff going on. And when we think about what we do at CoreChain and why we're excited to bring our capabilities to the Odoo world is because we're bringing together the data around a payment as well as the actual payment processing itself. So you have purchase orders, invoices, bills of materials, shipping receipts, vendor agreements. All that information has to be managed and can be digitized, and we can get really excited and talk about the future of smart contracts and digitized payments. And you bring those together in the current world or the future world of stable coins, and suddenly payments gets to be an incredibly exciting, disruptive opportunity. So this is where I get to the breaking news part of the presentation. Sorry. The strike is over. We're going to see movies and TV shows. I apologize, this is the wrong slide. I'm from Los Angeles. I'm from Los Angeles. In fact, I just flew in yesterday, and I'm reminded that it is 12:30 in the morning in California, where I'm from. This is big news for us where I live, but the more important part is CoreChain Pay will soon be available on the Odoo App Store. I'm tempted to say it is available now. Oh, okay. Since I left the U.S. yesterday, CoreChain Pay is now available in the Odoo store. So thank you for the update. Really breaking news. So let me tell you a little bit about CoreChain Pay for Odoo. First off, we've built it so that it's easy for the business. It's 100% digital. It's partner branded. So if you have a brand, you want to run your Odoo implementation for a customer, maybe that merchant has a brand that's really important for their business or their consumers. We're a white label embedded payment functionality capability. 10 minutes. Okay. Let me move quickly. We are built for SMEs. So we have all the proper controls, the SOC 2 compliance. We're a safe, proven payment system. And ultimately, we're about partner success, which is what I think most of you here are interested in today. So let me move through this part very quickly. Imagine you come to the Odoo store and you want to look at B2B payments. Type in Core, you're going to start to see CoreChain pop up. There we are, CoreChain, the integration for Odoo. We're part of the accounting suite, the accounting packages, obviously. This is where an implementation is running. This is just a sample of what it would look like for a merchant who wants to initiate a payment. We talked about Becky and AP. Becky used to have to do this manually. Now she gets to choose from a drop-down menu of payment providers. On the bottom right, you'll now see CoreChain Pay. We're next to Stripe. We're next to PayPal. We like the good neighborhood that we're in. Most of those solutions are more about B2C, right? So remember, we were about a B2B payment. So Becky in accounts payable can now choose CoreChain Pay to initiate the payment. She can go to the screen. She can initiate the payment. She can enable payment configuration. Becky can choose to pay whether it's ACH, virtual card, e-check. There are various ways of paying. She can now initiate those modes. She has a draft. She moves to the invoice, and it's all paid. All from within the Odoo accounting system as of today, we're excited to say. So let me move through this. So let's get to the incentives part. So we think B2B is payments. We think B2B payments is exciting. We know it's big, so why does it matter to the average Odoo VAR when you're working with your customers? We've built our business model around incentives to our partners. So for every new account that is activated and signed through the Odoo partnership that we have, we're willing to pay $1,000. Second, the business model that we're in is not about SaaS and subscription. It is a little bit, but we're more about building the transactions that your customers work with every day as they're paying their customers. So our model is to share 10% of the net revenue generation with our partners. And we also have a small SaaS revenue, and we pay out 25% of that SaaS revenue to our Odoo partners. So maybe you can't see all this, but we're trying to show what does this matter to an Odoo VAR. So if you consider your customers, maybe you have 5, 10, 20 different customers, what we're trying to show here, if you aggregate the spend of that customer, here in this example, we've assumed a $48 million annual spend. I got to move quickly. That $48 million in annual aggregate spending by your customers translates to about $430,000 in annual recurring revenue to the VAR, to your business. And that's just in year one. In year two, as the spending grows, as you add more clients to your portfolio, that spending can reach nearly $1 million in accounts revenue, and annual recurring revenue from the payment transaction. If you're dealing with smaller SMEs, I put an assumption here of $1 million per month spend, then the number drops to $192,000 in the first year of annual recurring revenue. Again, this is non-SaaS revenue, and this is additional revenue to your business as you're working with your customers and implementing an ERP, an accounting package, and working with CoreChain for payments. So this is it. This is the last of it all. The one message, the 3 points I'd like to leave with you today. B2B payments are big. Yes, they're messy, but they're ready for disruption, and CoreChain is there with a solution. And adding integrated AP capabilities to your clients will reduce fraud. It reduces liability. Your customers will be able to rapidly onboard new vendors. These are some of the benefits we really didn't even focus on today. And at the end of the day, for your business, for how you run your business, you can start to generate revenue on the transactions that occur between a merchant A paying a supplier B. And that's in addition to SaaS revenue. So that's it for now. We've got a few minutes left. This is a QR code. Please send me your questions. I'm ready to answer anything either on stage or during the day if you see me walking around. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. So this is my good friend Tom Romery. He's the co-founder and chief commercial officer of CoreChain. And coming to Brussels, he brought the beer opener, the beer bottle opener. So we are ready to talk about that. Great. Any questions? All right. Have a great day. Have a great day, everybody.